Music producers, I need to just rant today. I just need to talk about something. Hopefully it will help you out, but I had what I think is a music producer midlife mixing crisis. I'm not making this up. I'm gonna tell you what happened, but I need to rant and I need to talk to my family. Let's talk about it. Music producers, I don't know if you've had this, maybe you've had it, maybe you're too young to have it, but something happens to music producers that have been making music for quite some time. You get to certain places and they're weird places in that you've been grooving, you've been doing your thing, you've been making music for quite some time, and you're not having sort of the beginner issues that you had, right? Those are far before, like those are far before where you're at right now. Those are way behind you. The kind of issues you start having make you question your whole existence as a music producer, and they're not really influenced by other producers that are out there. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but my particular midlife music producer mixing crisis came a few weeks ago, and maybe you guys saw a post on my Instagram. By the way, go follow me on Instagram at Curtis King with 2 S's. Go ahead and put a crown. If you put a crown in the comments, I'm gonna go ahead and follow you back. That's that. Commercial break. But that being said, I have dealt with this issue a few weeks ago because I was sitting here and I was putting together a course for my brother BusyWorks, and BusyWorks and I, Game from BusyWorks, we have two different approaches to making and mixing our beats, right? And it works for both of us because we both have our own particular style. And when I look and think about mixing, of course there are things that are like, you know, there are laws and things that are sort of preferences by different engineers, right? There's things that is just pretty much agreed upon across the board, right? If you max up your 808 to 9.5 over 0 and you put heavy distortion on it, you can't hear nothing else. It's just not gonna work if you're trying to sing over that, right? Maybe in 40, 50 years they'll be like, haha, shit, showed your ass, Curtis. Maybe that'll be different, but there's pretty much laws and things that are there, right? And I had a discussion with Epic and we were talking about it and I was like, bro, I'm in a weird place right now. After doing this course, I realized that there's a lot of things that I do as a producer that breaks the rules of what it means to be a professional mixer, a professional mixer and master of audio production. And it started making me question myself, right? Not because I wasn't confident in my music. I actually like my music, but I can see how my music can be a bit of a headache to deal with if you're an engineer for a rapper that bought a beat from me. If you bought a beat from me, especially over the last couple years, you may have noticed that I'm not shy about hitting my reds, right? Hitting that red meter. I'm not shy about that at all, and my beats do be banging, but sometimes they just be playing out loud. I used to be out loud, and I never let it bother me because I said to myself in my head, I said, well, this is a stylistic thing, right? Not everybody likes, even my favorite producer, Jay Dilla, not everybody likes his particular drums or his mix, or they feel like it should have been like this, and it comes down to preference, so I tried to ignore that. But between that, and even between another placement opportunity that I had that, man, this is the biggest placement of my life, and it literally just fell upon my lap. They had an issue with the way that I mixed the final mix, and it was literally because, once again, I was not being shy about the reds, and I was going over and I was doing things that I was taught over time by producers that I respect, because it's so hard to take advice from producers that are telling you can't do this, you can't do this, and their beats sound like nobody want to hear that. It's hard to take that advice. And so I ignored a lot of the rules or the laws. I ignored a lot of them because I was like, I don't like your beats. I don't like what it sounds like. Why don't listen to you? And so I found myself in really a midlife mixing music producer crisis. And I was like, man, I'm trash at mixing. And some of you may be like, you may laugh at that. You're like, bro, I love your mix. I love your beats. You guys leave the comment all the time. And how do you get it so clean? And to me, it's like leveling, a little bit of EQing, but not a whole lot of EQing, just getting stuff to the point where it's loud but not distorted. However, that presents issues to your buying audience, and my buying audience, I thought, presented issues too, especially when I talked to them. They would tell me, yeah, sometimes the engineer says it's a little bit too loud, but I mean, I don't know. I don't hear the difference when the final mix is done. But then it got me thinking, man, I gotta produce the best customer service possible that I can. If I'm not producing that, I'm not doing good business, is what my mindset was around around. So I was like, yo, I gotta change it. I gotta change it. So I went and revisited all my old BusyWorks old tutorials that he had when he was working on like FL 10 and FL whatever. Like he was on the old school FLs. I started going back through those and trying to like really sit there with these terms that you probably would look at as very basic, but what really does compression do? What is the power of a threshold? Why do you need this? Why do you need to have a limiter? Why do you, and you guys see, you've seen my channels, I don't really have a whole lot of stuff on there. I just know what sounds good and what stuff gets in the way and what stuff is just hella extra. And so that's been my approach, but I started getting frustrated because of this major opportunity with this placement. I was like, I don't want to drop the ball on this. And so I had a bit of a crisis. And so what happened was that when I get into a crisis situation, I have always been taught to focus on just the facts. The facts of that matter were, I like my beats, but I feel like they could be better. I like my mixing, but they create issues for engineers because they leave no headroom. So then I started sitting there doing my research within the BusyWorks tutorials, which if you're interested in getting them, look in the description below. I got direct links to the ones that I studied. I started actually hitting up my brother Epic and asking his feedback and asking him, man, have my beats ever sounded like just way too loud? I started hitting up the homie, yo gosh. I was like, bro, man, have you not been honest with your mans? You ain't been honest with your homie? Have my beats been like, my mix been trash? I know the beats is tight, but as the mix trash? And he was like, no, why would you say that? And you know, I was in the middle of really going through it. And so the homie Epic showed me some things that I could do in my mastering stage of really how to level all of my stuff down after I've turned it all the way up, and things that I was doing that I learned that are really, I guess, bad habits if you want to at some point become a mixing professional. I sat with these ideas and I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating when I say I was spending 15-hour days every single day, and I got the placement. It was already done, right? I was spending 15-hour days trying to teach myself or relearn things that I overlooked about mixing. I was obsessing over YouTube tutorials. I was obsessing over the BusyWorks stuff, obsessing over like the screen grab recording stuff that I got from talking to Epic, the stuff that I got from the homie Yo Gosh, all people that I respect their IQ and their music making ability. And I sat there and I was overwhelmed. After about 3 or 4 days of 15 hours a day, I mean, man, my family, my wife was like, are you really going at it? And I was like, I am. What I noticed was this. One thing that actually was a positive from this, because I was tired as hell at the end of that. One thing I noticed that was a positive was that learning something new filled me up with a new purpose, right? I already love making music. I don't need reasons to go make music. I love music. But to fill you up with purpose is a special thing. I remember waking up every single day, I couldn't wait to jump down and get more information for another 15 hours. I would wake up literally with the first thing on my mind. That's my personality. Very obsessive. I got up, I came into this room and I sat there, breath all stinking, right? Ain't even drank no water like I should. Ain't meditated or nothing. Just sitting here like a zombie watching these tutorials. Okay, that's how you really do a side chain the right way. Okay, breaking notes. Stage gating. Okay, sounds good. All of this stuff that I was sitting up here going over, and then I had an aha moment after probably about the 45th hour. I said, that's it. I just could have turned it down and not have to go through this. So what was the purpose of it, you may be asking? The purpose of that, I went the long way to find out that if you like what your music sounds like, that pretty much is the most important thing. When you're thinking about legacy, when you're thinking about what you leave behind, is a representation of you and your personality. It's a representation of you and your attention to detail or lack of attention to detail. It is a representation of how loud you like your music. And what I found was that all of these different things that I was getting ready to change, because I had some mixes along the way in those 45 hours that I didn't like, some that I kind of like, and then one that I actually did like, which was a combination of the stuff I already knew and the stuff that I learned. The big aha moment was that I wasn't that far off. And it was no problem with adding new things to my artillery, right? New weapons to what I already had. There was no problem with that. And really, I could have gotten the same result had I just made some minor tweaks and was open to some new techniques. It gave me new life. But me being in a constant place of I want to grow, I want to become become amazing at this. It lit me up with fire and purpose. So if you're in a place where things have run dry, go find yourself something that's gonna light you up and fill you up with purpose. I guarantee you, you will never feel the same. The beats that I've been making this last few weeks, that's a man on fire. And I hope you've been enjoying it. So once again, that was just my rant about my midlife mixing music producer crisis. You may have something else that you're going through. Leave it in the comments below and really give your tips for how not to go quite overboard, but also what is driving you right now to get to the next level. What do you want to improve at? And most times we don't have to go as far as we think we have to go. We just really have to make some tweaks here and allow natural progression to actually occur. In this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Once again, it's the leading voice of online rappers and music producers in the community worldwide. Don't have me, bruh. Peace. Please subscribe to the channel below, Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com.